Imagine remembering everything you read, every face, every number, every idea, as vividly as if it were tattooed in your mind. Sounds impossible? Yet, a new breathing pattern, once buried in ancient practice, and now rediscovered by modern science, might make it possible. It's called the 282 breathing supermemory recipe, and it's leaving neuroscientists both stunned and fascinated. Studies have shown that the brain's memory centers light up differently when this specific breathing rhythm is performed, creating what researchers describe as a hyper-encoding state. But here's the shocker. This discovery wasn't born in a laboratory. It was first whispered in ancient scrolls, describing how monks could remember the shape of light after meditation. Now, decades later, data from EEG scans and cognitive tests suggest that their sacred breath was, in fact, a form of biohacking far ahead of its time. In a world drowning in distractions, where our attention spans are shrinking and our mental clarity fades daily, this simple 12-second cycle may hold the key to reviving our brain's forgotten potential. So, take a deep breath, because what you're about to learn could permanently change the way you think, learn, and remember. Every day, billions of bits of information bombard our minds. Notifications, texts, ads, endless content streams. Yet, even as we consume more, we remember less. The average human attention span has plummeted to just 8 seconds, shorter than that of a goldfish. Memory, once humanity's greatest tool for survival and creativity, is slowly eroding in the digital haze. Think about it. How often do you forget where you placed your phone, or walk into a room and can't recall why you're there? These small lapses, once occasional, now feel constant. Behind them lies a deeper problem. Our brains are overstimulated but undertrained. Stress hormones flood our system from the moment we wake up, dulling the very neural networks that support focus and recall. Students spend hours studying, only to forget half of what they learned by exam day. Professionals struggle to retain crucial details in meetings. Even simple daily memories slip through the cracks, leaving behind frustration and a quiet sense of failure. Society responds with caffeine, pills, and endless productivity hacks. Yet the root cause remains unaddressed. Our brain's natural rhythm is broken. Breathing, once the foundation of mental balance, has become shallow and irregular. The human body was designed to use the breath as a metronome for thought, deep, calm, and rhythmic. But now, we live in constant fight or flight, with our breath short and scattered, sending panic signals to the brain. This disconnection between breath and cognition creates mental fog. Memory doesn't fail because we're incapable. It fails because our internal environment is chaotic. Modern science is now proving what ancient traditions always knew. The state of your breath defines the state of your mind. To unlock powerful recall, we must first reclaim control of this ancient rhythm. The 282 breathing technique is more than just an exercise. It's a reset switch for your cognitive machinery. The quest to enhance human memory has traveled across centuries, cultures, and sciences. From ancient monasteries in Tibet to cutting-edge neurobiology labs in California, one question has persisted. How can we unlock the brain's full potential? For thousands of years, sages and scholars believed the key lay not in the mind, but in the breath. Ancient yogic manuscripts spoke of prana control, using rhythmic breathing to awaken dormant parts of consciousness. Buddhist monks practiced patterns of inhalation and retention that reportedly sharpened awareness and memory. Even in ancient Greece, philosophers like Pythagoras and Plato describe the power of controlled respiration as essential to clarity of thought. Yet, in the rush of modern life, these teachings faded, replaced by fast-paced living and artificial stimulants. In the 20th century, scientists began to rediscover what those ancient mystics already knew. Early research into biofeedback and meditation revealed that breathing patterns could influence brainwave states. Slower, deeper breathing led to alpha and theta states, conditions associated with creativity, calmness, and enhanced memory consolidation. By contrast, erratic breathing triggered stress responses that impaired cognitive function. A team at Stanford later demonstrated that the breath acts as a direct regulator of the locus coeruleus, a brainstem nucleus responsible for attention and alertness. Their findings hinted at something profound, that each breath cycle could literally tune the brain's focus like a radio signal. Yet no single pattern stood out until recently. Hidden among decades of scattered research was a forgotten breathing ratio, first mentioned in a 10th century Sanskrit text. A 2-count inhale, an 8-count hold, and a 2-count exhale. Researchers brushed it off as symbolic, until a neuroscientist, Dr. Alara Lin, decided to test it. Her experiments revealed that this simple rhythm produced measurable changes in short-term memory recall, working memory accuracy, and even visual retention speed. What began as curiosity soon became revelation. The 2-8-2 pattern wasn't metaphorical, it was neurological. The discovery of the 2-8-2 breathing rhythm began almost by accident. Dr. Alara Lin, a cognitive neuroscientist studying the relationship between respiration and neuroplasticity, was analyzing EEG data from meditation practitioners. Among hundreds of breathing styles tested, one group displayed a unique signature, a deep synchronization between the prefrontal cortex and hippocampus, the region of the brain responsible for memory formation. When Lin reviewed the recordings, she noticed a pattern. Every participant who showed this enhanced brainwave harmony had unknowingly followed a 2-8-2 rhythm. Inhale for 2 seconds, hold for 8, exhale for 2. Intrigued, she replicated the experiment in her lab. Volunteers were asked to memorize lists of unrelated words, complex geometric shapes, and even unfamiliar languages. Half practiced normal breathing, while the other half used the 2-8-2 method for 5 minutes before the task. The results stunned the team. The 2-8-2 group showed up to a 40% improvement in recall accuracy and a 35% faster recognition speed compared to the control group. Brain imaging revealed reduced activity in the amygdala, the fear center, and increased oxygen saturation in regions linked to attention and memory encoding. But beyond the data, participants described something else, a feeling of mental stillness, as if time slowed and thoughts arranged themselves neatly. One student said it was like breathing space into the mind. Another reported that after just one session, he could recall sequences of numbers backward, something he'd struggled with before. Word began to spread quietly among peak performance coaches, memory athletes, and biohackers. The 2-8-2 rhythm wasn't just another mindfulness tool. It was a neurological amplifier. Further analysis revealed why it worked so effectively. The 2-second inhale quickly oxygenates the blood. The 8-second hold allows oxygen diffusion and CO2 balance to optimize neural firing. And the final 2-second exhale triggers the parasympathetic nervous system, calming the body and sharpening awareness. In essence, it resets the electrical and chemical balance of the brain within a single 12-second cycle. Dr. Lin called it the perfect cognitive breath. Yet, as word spread, historians stepped forward with a stunning revelation. This wasn't new. The 282 rhythm appeared in ancient Taoist manuals and early yogic texts describing it as the breath of retention, said to open the golden gate of memory. Somehow, the ancients had stumbled upon a formula modern science was only now rediscovering. The science behind the 282 breathing technique is as elegant as it is powerful. When you inhale for 2 seconds, you trigger a brief surge of oxygen intake that rapidly energizes the brain's neural networks. This sudden oxygen influx stimulates the prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for focus, planning, and working memory. The brain lights up in readiness, like a computer powering on. But the magic doesn't happen during the inhale. It happens during the stillness that follows. The 8-second hold is where transformation begins. In this moment of intentional pause, carbon dioxide levels rise slightly in the bloodstream, causing the blood vessels in the brain to dilate. This gentle, controlled elevation in CO2 improves cerebral circulation, delivering oxygen more efficiently to the hippocampus, the brain's memory headquarters. At the same time, neural oscillations begin to synchronize, allowing different brain regions to communicate more efficiently. It's as if the entire neural orchestra tunes itself to a single, harmonious note. Electroencephalogram readings taken during this phase show a clear increase in alpha and theta waves, the same frequencies associated with deep focus, meditation, and memory consolidation. This 8-second suspension also activates the vagus nerve, a crucial component of the parasympathetic nervous system, which slows heart rate and reduces cortisol production. In essence, the brain moves from a state of survival to one of creation. When the nervous system shifts away from fight or flight, cognitive performance naturally flourishes. You can't store memories in chaos. You can only encode them in calm. That's why the 282 method works where other focus techniques fail. It directly manipulates the body's stress chemistry to create the ideal internal environment for learning. Then comes the 2-second exhale, short, sharp, and releasing. This final phase completes the neurological circuit by flushing carbon dioxide and reinforcing the relaxation response. It's the exhale that tells the brain, you are safe. Once the body receives that message, the hippocampus fully engages in the process of storing information. Scientific imaging has shown that just 10 cycles of 2-10-8 breathing can significantly lower beta wave activity associated with anxiety and increase connectivity in the default mode network, the region tied to creativity, insight, and mental association. Furthermore, cellular studies indicate that proper breath retention may increase mitochondrial efficiency, allowing neurons to sustain higher energy levels during cognitive effort. In other words, your brain literally runs more smoothly and for longer periods. Oxygen metabolism improves, free radicals decrease, and neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form new connections, strengthens. The rhythm of 2, 8, and 2 acts as a precise code, unlocking biological mechanisms evolution designed, but we forgot how to use. The implications go beyond memory. By mastering the breath, we learn to influence what was once thought to be involuntary. The autonomic processes that dictate how we think, feel, and perform. Breathing becomes not just survival, but self-programming. With every 12-second cycle, you aren't merely inhaling air, you're inhaling focus, calm, and clarity. Science has finally caught up to what mystics hinted at for millennia. The mind is not trapped in the brain. It's woven through every breath we take, Beyond neuroscience lies a quieter truth, one that ancient mystics have whispered for thousands of years. The breath is the bridge between the body and the spirit. Long before EEGs or MRI scans, sages in India, China, and Egypt taught that breath carries life force, prana, chi, or ka, the invisible current linking thought and vitality. They didn't measure oxygen or neurons. They measured awareness. In their teachings, every inhalation drew in the essence of clarity, and every exhalation released the fog of ignorance. The 2-8-2 rhythm, now rediscovered by science, mirrors the sacred ratios they practiced to unlock higher consciousness. In yogic philosophy, the 8-second retention represents mastery, the still point where body and mind dissolve into silence. The 2-second inhale symbolizes life's creation, the brief spark that ignites awareness. The 2-second exhale signifies release, surrender, and transformation. Together, they form a miniature cycle of life, death, and rebirth occurring within every breath. Taoist masters describe this as the breath of immortality, claiming that one who controls the pause controls the mind. When we hold the breath, not in strain but in stillness, time seems to stop. The ego's chatter fades, and the present moment becomes infinite. Modern spiritual teachers echo the same truth. True intelligence arises not from thought, but from the space between thoughts. The 2-8-2 method creates that space, a sanctuary where the noise of daily life cannot enter. In those 8 seconds of stillness, your consciousness aligns with a deeper rhythm of the universe. The breath no longer belongs to you. You belong to the breath. This merging creates profound calm, a sense of being both intensely focused and infinitely expanded. Many practitioners describe vivid clarity, heightened intuition, and even emotional release. When the body relaxes and the spirit aligns, the mind becomes a perfect mirror, able to absorb, reflect, and recall information effortlessly. In spiritual terms, memory is not storage. It is resonance. The 2-8-2 breath fine-tunes that resonance, allowing you to remember not just data, but the essence of experience. The science explains the mechanism, but spirituality explains the meaning. You are not merely improving your brain, you are awakening it to experience the full effect of the 2-8-2 supermemory breathing technique. Your environment and posture matter as much as the rhythm itself. Begin by choosing a quiet space where you won't be interrupted. Sit upright, either cross-legged on the floor or in a straight-backed chair, keeping your spine tall and your shoulders relaxed. Place your hands gently on your thighs or in your lap, palms facing upward. Close your eyes. Take a moment to become aware of your natural breathing pattern. Don't force it yet. Just notice the gentle rise and fall of your chest, the coolness of the air as it enters, and the warmth as it leaves. Now, prepare to begin. Inhale through your nose for a count of 2 seconds. Feel the air moving deep into your diaphragm, not just your chest. The inhale should feel smooth, alive, and deliberate, as if you're waking up your inner circuitry. Then hold your breath for a count of 8. During this hold, remain perfectly still. This is not a strain or a suffocation. It's a calm suspension, a floating moment where time stands still. Imagine that your mind is expanding while your body is grounded. Feel the pulse of your heart, the silence behind your thoughts, and a slight pressure of life energy building gently in your chest. This is where focus is born. After the hold, exhale slowly and fully through your nose for 2 seconds. The exhale should feel like a release, effortless, complete, and cleansing. Imagine you're breathing out mental clutter, tension, and distraction. Let every exhale empty your mind a little more. Then immediately return to the next inhale. Continue this cycle for 10 to 15 rounds, maintaining the 2-10-8-2 timing. It helps to use a slow mental count or a timer app during your first few sessions, but eventually your body will internalize the rhythm naturally. As you breathe, keep your awareness anchored in the sensations of each phase. The cool inhale, the suspended stillness, the warm release. If thoughts arise, simply return your focus to the breath without judgment. Over time, you'll notice that your mind becomes sharper, quieter, and more stable. The 8-second hold creates the perfect condition for memory encoding. The brainwaves slow, cortisol drops, and oxygen distributes evenly. Beginners may feel mild discomfort or restlessness during the hold. This is normal. Your body is recalibrating. If dizziness occurs, shorten the retention slightly or take a longer rest between cycles. With practice, your lungs, nervous system, and attention will adapt. Within days, you may find it easier to recall names, absorb complex information, or stay fully present while studying or working. For optimal results, practice this technique twice daily. Once in the morning to prime your brain for the day, and once in the evening to consolidate what you've learned. Remember, this isn't just breathing. It's communication with your own biology. Each round of 2-10-8-2 rewires neural pathways and trains your consciousness to remain still amid the chaos. In that stillness lies your greatest potential, a mind that remembers effortlessly because it has finally learned how to listen. Even the most powerful technique can lose its magic if practiced incorrectly, and the 2-8-2 breathing pattern is no exception. The key to mastering it lies in subtlety, precision without tension, awareness without effort. One of the most common mistakes beginners make is forcing the breath. They inhale too deeply or hold the air too tightly, turning what should be a calming rhythm into a stressful one. The 2-8-2 sequence is meant to feel natural, not strained. If your chest feels tight or your shoulders rise, you're using too much force. Instead, imagine the breath as a soft wave flowing in and out. The inhale is a whisper, the hold is a pause in silence, and the exhale is a gentle sigh. Another frequent error is counting too fast or inconsistently. The power of 2-8-2 lies in its timing. Each second creates a balance between oxygen intake, retention, and release. Rushing the hold or losing track of the rhythm disrupts the neurological synchronization that enhances memory. If you find yourself losing the count, use a slow, steady inner voice. 1, 2. Hold. 1, 2. Until your body internalizes the cadence. It's better to perform 5 slow, precise cycles than 20 rushed ones. Distraction is another obstacle. Many practitioners try to focus too hard on doing it right, which paradoxically prevents the mind from quieting. The goal is to merge awareness with breath, to become the rhythm. If thoughts arise, let them drift by like clouds. The mind will wander, but with each cycle, you'll train it to return naturally to the center. Over time, this relaxed focus becomes your default state, the foundation for effortless recall and creativity. Posture also plays a critical role. Slouching compresses the lungs and prevents full oxygenation, while rigidity creates tension. Keep your spine aligned but soft, as if your head were gently suspended by a thread from above. The best posture feels both alert and relaxed. And remember, Environment matters. Practicing in a noisy or chaotic space divides your attention. A quiet room, dim light, and fresh air amplify the effect. Finally, impatience is the greatest enemy. Some expect instant results. Photographic memory after one session. But like any skill, this technique compounds over time. The first few days bring calmness and subtle clarity. After a week, focus improves. After a month, your ability to absorb and retain information can transform entirely. Consistency, not intensity, unlocks the full potential of 2-8-2 breathing. Think of it as watering the roots of a tree, invisible at first, but eventually producing fruits of remarkable awareness. The results of practicing the 2-8-2 breathing method can be both astonishing and deeply personal. In just a few sessions, many people report an immediate lightness, as though the fog that once clouded their thinking begins to lift. Concentration deepens, thoughts become more organized, and the frantic mental chatter quiets to a whisper. After 2 weeks of consistent practice, memory recall becomes sharper, quicker, and more reliable. You might notice you can recall names, facts, and even small details from conversations with striking clarity. But beneath these surface-level improvements lies something far more profound. A transformation in how your brain functions and how your mind feels. Physiologically, the 2-8-2 rhythm fine-tunes your entire nervous system. The controlled breathing balances the ratio of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the blood, which enhances communication between neurons. The hippocampus, which acts like the brain's librarian, begins functioning more efficiently, sorting and storing information with precision. Simultaneously, the prefrontal cortex, responsible for decision-making and focus, receives a steady flow of oxygenated blood. The result is a mind that can concentrate deeply without fatigue. Cognitive researchers have found that such rhythmic breathing practices increase brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, a protein that supports neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to form new connections and learn faster. Emotionally, the benefits are equally powerful. The 2-8-2 breathing sequence activates the parasympathetic nervous system, lowering cortisol and adrenaline levels. Within minutes, you feel calmer, more grounded, and less reactive. This inner peace enhances your ability to learn because a relaxed brain absorbs information far better than a stressed one. Over time, this calm becomes your new baseline. Even in moments of pressure, an exam, a presentation, or a heated conversation, the breath anchors you in clarity and composure. People around you may notice that your energy feels different, more centered, confident, and alert. Spiritually, many practitioners describe an awakening of awareness. As the practice deepens, they begin to sense a connection between memory and presence, realizing that remembering isn't just about the past, but about being fully conscious in the present. The 2-8-2 breath teaches you that memory is not mechanical storage. It is alignment. When mind, body, and breath harmonize, awareness sharpens into a luminous focus, where everything you experience leaves a clear imprint. Some experience moments of insight, creativity, and intuition that seem to appear out of nowhere. These are not coincidences. They are byproducts of a brain and soul vibrating in coherence. The most striking testimonials come from students, professionals, and even elderly individuals who've used this method to regain mental vitality. A 67-year-old retiree practicing 2-8-2 for 2 months reported remembering entire pages of poetry after a single reading. A musician found her ability to memorize complex compositions doubled. In controlled studies, participants using this breathing method before studying, scored up to 30% higher on memory tests compared to those using conventional relaxation techniques. But perhaps the greatest benefit is the shift in identity. Through daily 2-10-8-2 breathing, you stop seeing memory as something external, a tool you have to force, and begin to experience it as a natural expression of stillness. The more balanced your breath, the clearer your perception. The clearer your perception, the stronger your memory. This cycle feeds itself endlessly, creating what some call the flow of remembering. And in that flow, learning stops feeling like work. It becomes effortless, joyful, and deeply alive. Take a moment and notice your breath right now. It moves without your command, yet every inhalation is a reminder. The key to your highest potential has always been within you. The 2-10-8-2 breathing supermemory recipe is more than a technique. It's a rediscovery of your own design. In a world obsessed with constant stimulation and shortcuts, this 12-second rhythm invites you back to your natural intelligence, the state where learning is effortless and remembering is automatic. For centuries, mystics and scientists have searched for the doorway between mind and mastery. That doorway, it turns out, opens every time you inhale for 2, hold for 8, and exhale for 2. Now it's your turn. Begin today, just 5 minutes in the morning and 5 before sleep. No apps, no devices, no noise. Just you and your breath. In a week, you'll feel the calm. In a month, you'll notice your focus sharpening. In 3 months, you may astonish yourself with how easily you learn, recall, and create. Imagine walking into an exam, a meeting, or a conversation, and feeling completely centered. Your mind clear, your memory alive. That's not fantasy. That's the natural state your body was designed for. So share this knowledge. Teach a friend. Show someone how to breathe the way nature intended. The 2-8-2 rhythm doesn't just expand memory. It awakens awareness. It reminds you that greatness doesn't come from adding more information, but from unlocking what was already within you. Every breath is an opportunity to begin again, to remember who you are and what your mind is truly capable of.